morning, party people. Emily here at the Movement Clinic, and today's class is a flow building up to Dolphin Pose. This is essentially down dog with our forearms on the mat, and this is such a wonderful way to build strength in the upper body for an inversion practice. It already is an inversion in and of itself because our hips are over our head. But regardless, I love breaking down what is necessary for this pose. It took me a long time for this to feel really solid in my shoulders and really stable and almost with a sense of ease, kind of like that journey to down dog being a resting pose if it ever gets that way for you. So join me on your mat and make sure that you have a blanket with you today. If you're practicing on wood floor or tile like I am, if you are practicing on carpet, go ahead and grab a couple of paper plates or plastic plates so that you can use them to kind of slide around on and glide on easily with the hands and the feet. All right, so we're gonna get started in a seat. Try to find a cross-legged seat if you can. If you need to sit on the blanket that you have, do so. Go ahead and rock side to side so that you can get those sit bones underneath you and maybe even rock forward of the sit bones. Natural curve of the low back is present. Ears are lengthening out of shoulders so that collarbones broaden. Close your eyes, place your hands somewhere on your legs or maybe in your lap. Begin to smooth out the breath. With each exhale, softening shoulders away from ears and gently, effortlessly lengthening ears out of shoulders, maintaining a sense of length. And as we start to practice this fine-tuning of awareness, bring your attention and your gaze to the shoulders, maybe the tops of the shoulders. Notice how the breath moves and communicates there. Notice the collarbones as they rest on those upper ribs and connect at the base of your throat, and how the breath communicates there, that interplay. And trace from the base of your throat back to the shoulders, your collarbones, and maybe even play gently with squeezing your shoulders back and noticing how the collarbones become wide and broad. And then softening that effort, maybe hugging the front tips of the shoulders in, noticing how there's that sense of closing off of the outer collarbone. Maybe find a gentle neutral position as you trace your awareness back over the shoulder, the top of the shoulder, what we usually associate as being the shoulder, into your shoulder blades. Notice the conversation between the ribs, the breath, and the shoulder blades. Where are they resting on your back? Do they feel close together towards the spine, or maybe do they feel lifted and hunched forward? Do they feel wide across the back? And if that feels difficult to connect with, just settle in awareness there. Start to build that connection to that area of your body. And as we move and breathe together today, I invite you to soften into this more nuanced experience. This idea of fine-tuning our movements and how we hold our body to create for more efficient ways of moving and being in our bodies, or at least within our movement practice. And always a practice. So while paying attention to detail, we can maintain a sense of curiosity and play, moving slowly, and ultimately creating a connection and a sense of awareness so that we can better inform ourselves how to feel better in our skin throughout the day. Slowly float the eyes open. Inhale, reach up. When arms come to shoulder height, flip your palms to face the sky and notice that external rotation of the arm bones from the shoulder sockets, that broadening of the collarbones, and then reach all the way up. Shoulders will float up towards ears, that's fine. Just kind of shake the neck so that the neck muscles aren't doing that for you. And release your left hand down, right hand reaches up and overhead. Right sit bone is rooted down. We're just stretching out the fascia of the back side to side and the back line of the body. Inhale, reach up. Plug those arm bones gently into the shoulder sockets, that external rotation, but palms continue to face one another. As you release right hand down, left arm reaches up and overhead. Good, again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, left hand down, right arm reaches up and overhead, pause. Now draw both arm bones back and into the shoulder sockets gently, neck is soft, maybe shake the head no here to remind it not to work here with anything other than holding up your big head. Now draw the low left belly back, turn the chest to face that left thigh, and diagonally reach the right fingertips out in front of that left shin, land the fingertips, soften forehead down to your left knee. We're lengthening right side body, so maybe use the breath here. Breathe into those fish gills as belly continues to lift away from the thigh. And inhale, reach up. Same thing, other side, arm bones stay gently plugged into the shoulder sockets. Right hand lands, left arm reaches up and overhead. Neck soft. Take an inhale, find lots of length from left sit bone to left lifted fingertips. Exhale, low right belly draws back to help us to turn to face that right thigh and knee. And reach out of the low back as you land the left hand diagonally in front of right leg. Soften your forehead down towards your knee. Inhale, reach up. Both fingertips lift. Notice where the shoulder blades are on your back. They are lifted. Shoulders are softly closer to your ears. That's fine. Nod head yes, shake head no. And then come to hands and knees. So this idea of dragging the shoulder blades down the back, not useful when our arms are up overhead. It doesn't allow for us to have a realistic and actually functional position of the shoulder blades. So keep that in mind. As long as neck is soft and we're not using neck muscles, we're good to go. Plant your palms underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your bony hip points. Narrow your waist and zip up the muscles underneath your belly button as though you were being zipped into a pair of jeans. Keep that, gently lengthen the ears out of your shoulders. Lift your throat into the back of the neck. So you can lift the eyes to gaze forward wherever you want, but just keep the back of the neck and sides of the neck nice and softly long. Now, keep everything in the body stable. We're just moving shoulder blades for scapular push-ups. Inhale, soften your heart forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale, press away. Heart lifts through the shoulder blades. Skin between the shoulder blades spreads wide. So you're lowering your upper back in between your shoulder blades, or lower than your shoulder blades, and you're lifting your upper back higher than the shoulder blades, but we're not moving the pelvis and the low back, okay? So keep all of that stable. Low ribs squeezing in, zipping up the low belly. Inhale, squeeze shoulder blades together. Exhale, press them wide. Squeeze shoulder blades together, inhale. Exhale, press them wide. Inhale, back to neutral. Inhale, shrug shoulder blades up towards ears. Exhale, squeeze them back as though they could reach behind the belly button. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, draw them down the back. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, draw them down the back. Now let's put all of those together to create some big circles. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Inhale. Shrug them up towards your ears. Press away, wrap them wide, and then drag them back down the back. Squeeze them together. Lift shoulder blades up towards ears. Wrap them wide, press away, drag them down the back. Squeeze them together. And if this feels a little hard for you, just keep moving. Just focus on moving the shoulder blades in all directions. And again, really building a sense of awareness. Maybe even reversing the direction of your circles. And then pause. Now, walk your knees back a print or two, come into supported chaturanga. So just a little bit more load, a little bit more weight for scapular push-ups and circles. Now, inhale, squeeze them onto the spine. Exhale, press away. Notice if your pelvis is dipping, zip up the low belly. Low ribs squeeze into the back of the body. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, press away. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, press away. Pause. Now we're shrugging and hugging them down the back, or elevating into pressing. Inhale, elevate, shrug shoulders up to ears and shoulder blades. Exhale, drag them down the back. Inhale, shrug them up. Exhale, drag them down. Inhale, shrug them up to the ears. Exhale, drag them down. Now let's put all of those together for some big circles. Don't worry if this is still feeling a little bit weird to connect to. Squeeze shoulder blades around the spine. Lift them up towards the ears. Wrap them wide. Drag them down the back. And keep going, creating these little circular motions, keeping the rest of your body stable. Maybe reversing the direction of your circles. Good. And then pause. Sink your hips back to your heels, puppy dog pose. If toes are tucked under, or child's pose. They're not. Soften your forehead down, take a moment, and connect with whatever sensations are occurring around the shoulder blades or down the arms. Maybe there's a sense of warmth, tingling, buzzing, or maybe you don't quite have anything yet, and that's all right too. Shift forward, back to hands and knees, and go ahead and roll up the top of your mat, grab your blanket or your plates if you're on carpet. And I'm just gonna place my knees on sort of the padding of the rolled up mat that I have here. Now, place your forearm down at a diagonal. So my elbow's planted under my shoulder, but my right arm is reaching towards the left corner of my blanket, and my left hand is planted off of the blanket in line-ish with my right elbow. All I'm gonna do is slide the blanket diagonally away from me and drag it back. And you might close your eyes if you feel that that's appropriate for you, and really connect to what the shoulder and shoulder blade are doing. So inhale, keep the low belly in, low ribs in. Inhale, reach it away. Exhale, drag the elbow and the forearm back. Inhale, presses it away. Exhale, drag it back. Notice if you feel anything kind of underneath the armpits or at the outer corner of your shoulder blade. Any little muscle that's starting to fire on as you do this. Our little serratus anterior. Keep inhaling to press away, exhaling to drag it back. 2 more times. Inhale, press away. Exhale, drag it back. Inhale, press away diagonally. Exhale, drag it back, and let's switch. So right hand plants outside of the mat, left forearm down, elbow under shoulder to start, palm reaching diagonally towards the right corner of your blanket, or just, place both hands on your plates if that's what you have. Low ribs in, low belly zipped up, waist narrowed. Inhale, press away. Exhale, drag it back. Inhale, presses us away. Exhale, drag it back. Inhale, press away. Exhale, drag it back. 2 more. Inhale, press away. Exhale, drag it back. 1. Inhale, press away. Exhale, drag it back. Now pause. Come on up. Plant your palms on either plate, one on each plate, or both on your blanket. I'm gonna roll back just a little bit more so I can stay in frame for you. And now we're focusing on strengthening the lats. So we start in tabletop. Hips stay over knees, low belly stays zipped up, low ribs stay absorbed, starting to build this awareness of what we need to do in the front line of the body with gentle effort. As we inhale, we're gonna actively press away through the blanket. As you exhale, drag the palms back towards your knees, come back to tabletop. You might feel this across the back. The lats are helping us do this along with some other muscles too. Inhale, press away. Exhale, drag it back. Inhale, press away. Exhale, drag it back. Inhale, press away. Exhale, drag it back. Pause. Now we're gonna turn. We're gonna place our feet on the blanket or the ball of each foot on our plates, and now your palms are gonna plant on your mat. We're gonna come to our tabletop position. Press away through the hands, lengthen the bones behind the ears and ears out of the shoulders. Hug low ribs in, squeeze low belly in. Hover the knees. Inhale, press the feet back, press legs straight. Exhale, hug knees in. Inhale, press away. Exhale, hug knees in. Inhale, press away. Exhale, hug knees in. Inhale, press away. Exhale, hug knees in. 1 more. Inhale, press away. You got this. Exhale, squeeze knees in. Slowly lower the knees. Come back onto your mat. Yeehaw, we're done with the blanket for now. And make your way with toes tucked under to a puppy dog pose. Arms stretched out in front of you, active hands, active shoulders. Lift your shoulders away from the mat. Lengthen the ears out of shoulders. Reach the crown of the head toward your thumbs. Inhale, shift forward, supported plank. Exhale, lower to your belly in one piece. Low belly stays zipped up. Low back stays long. Heart keeps reaching forward. Collarbones stay broad. Inhale, lift your heart. Toes can stay tucked under here. Stretch the heart forward. Exhale, lift from the pit of the belly. Puppy dog pose. Start to pay attention to the back muscles, especially the muscles between the shoulder blades, as we come into that cobra pose. Inhale, shift forward. Collarbones broad as you reach heart forward. Arm bones plug back and in. Low ribs squeeze in. Exhale, lower to your bellies. Inhale, stretch your heart forward. Exhale, puppy dog pose. Inhale, shift forward, pause. We are in our supported chaturanga. Now bring your knees to touch, thighs to touch, ankles to touch. Roll over to the right side, press down through the right hand, left arm reaches up. So sort of like a supported gate pose, side plank. Hip dips, lower the right hip down. Exhale, press away and squeeze the low waist to lift the hips up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press away. Notice what that shoulder blade is doing. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press it up. And now let's roll to the other side. Lift up onto the knees, roll over to the left. Left hand plants, right arm reaches up. Inhale. Exhale, lower the left hip, and then press away, reach up. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, press away. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, press away. And come back to your supported plank. Toes tucked under, separate the knees slightly, lower to your bellies. Inhale, stretch your heart forward. Exhale, puppy dog pose. Let's do that again. Inhale, shift forward. Inner thighs, knees connect. We come to our gate pose, or sort of supported gate pose. And now here, left arm reaches up. Hips are lifting. You can stay with knees stacked, or maybe press the left leg straight, flex the left foot to the bottom of the mat. And inhale, go ahead and dip down. Exhale, press up. Inhale, dip the hips. Exhale, press away. Inhale, dip. Exhale, press. This time we're gonna dip the hips and roll to Ardha Navasana, half boat pose. So dip the hips down, bend left knee, roll onto the sacrum and squeeze the knees together. We're in Ardha Navasana. Lengthen the heart up, broad collarbones, bones behind the ears, lengthen out of the shoulders. Take an inhale. We're going to the other side, so plant your right hand, roll onto the right thigh and knee, press up, inhale. Lower left knee and roll to the other side as you exhale. Lengthen right hand, maybe even the right leg up, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lower left hip dip. Exhale, press up. Inhale, lower. Pay attention to the shoulder and shoulder blade. Exhale, press up. Inhale to lower. Exhale, press up. This time we inhale, roll to Ardha Navasana, half boat pose. Squeeze those bent legs together, heart stays long. Option to stay here, or inhale, lower down, lengthen legs long. Exhale, come back up. Low ribs stay in, low belly stays zipped up. Inhale, lower on down. Exhale, lift it up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift up, pause. Now, right leg lengthens. Left shin and thigh land, left hand lands, we press up. And come back to our supported plank position. Lower to your bellies. Keep collarbones broad, arm bones back, back, back. Inhale, stretch the heart forward. Exhale, child's pose. Excellent. I don't know about you, but I'm already sweating. As you're ready in the next couple of breaths, make your way to down dog. Hips lift up and back, press forward and down through the palms. Remember those muscles sort of at the ribs and the back corner of your shoulder, or the outer corners rather, of your shoulder blades, the outer edge. Notice that if you turn the armpits to face one another, collarbones are broad, neck is soft, and you might feel that tiny little muscle engagement. You might not, and if you don't worry about it. Good, inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk forward to the top of the mat to fold forward. Lift your belly away from your thighs, but stretch and reach your ribs to connect to your thighs. Crown of the head lengthens towards the big toes. Bend your knees generously. Inhale, roll up to rise. Reach up and look up. Exhale, palms to heart center. Release your hands to your sides, close your eyes. And again, connect to collarbones and the breath. Tops of the shoulders, backs of the shoulders, sides, and the breath. Shoulder blades. Can you connect to where they're sitting and resting on your back now? Gently open your eyes. Inhale, reach the arms out to the sides, pause at shoulder height. Now flip the palms to face up. Notice the broadness of the collarbones, reach up and overhead. Shoulders will come up, neck stays soft. Zip up the low belly, absorb the low ribs here. Press the thumbs back. Bring your palms to meet overhead. Bend at the elbows, thumbs touch at the base of the neck. Inhale. Exhale, curl down. Hug the belly in, elbows press towards the shins. Inhale, stand on up. Lengthen up through the elbows, neck soft, armpits turning to face one another. Exhale, roll down. Try to get those elbows to touch shins. Mine are not, but it's just where we're headed or where we're trying to head. Inhale, come on up. Lengthen up and out through the elbows. Low ribs stay in, low belly stays zipped up. Exhale, fold forward, release your hands down. Inhale, lift your gaze, bend your knees, pick up your left foot, step it back. High lunge, press your back foot back. Exhale, press your front leg straight or straightish. Inhale to lunge. Exhale, press it straight. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, press it straight. Inhale to lunge, pause, plant your palms, step back to down dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Lower to your bellies in one piece. Lower the knees if you need. Inhale, stretch your heart forward. Use the back muscles between your shoulder blades and press the shoulder blades forward through the chest. Exhale, down dog. 2 more times. Inhale, roll forward, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, stretch heart forward. Exhale, down dog. Last one. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, stretch heart forward. Exhale, down dog. Good. Now, step the feet together at the back of the mat, big toes touch. Lengthen back through the inner heels. And inhale, roll forward to plank. Now look at where your right palm is. That's where you're gonna land your right elbow. Slowly lower to the right elbow. Press away through the right forearm and palm. Forearm plank to the right. Roll to the outer edge of the right foot. Left hand reaches up. Hip dips here. Lower inhale, exhale, press away. Lower inhale, exhale, press away. Lower inhale, exhale, press away. This time as you lower to the right hip, let it land Ardha Navasana to the left side of the mat. So roll to the left, hug the knees in. Inhale, lower, Ardha Navasana. Keep shoulder blades up, low belly in. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Woo! Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Good. Now, back to forearm plank from here with the right forearm down and then left forearm down. So maybe lengthen right leg. Stack left on top of it, flex your toes, plant your right forearm, press hips up, plant left forearm, elbow underneath your shoulder, forearm plank to the left. Reach up and then hip dips. Inhale, dip, Exhale, lift. Inhale, dip. Exhale, lift. Inhale, dip. Exhale, lift. Inhale, dip. Pause. Ardha Navasana to the right. Stay or inhale, lower, press the legs straight. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Back to forearm plank from here. And slowly lower to the knees. Untuck the toes. Walk your hands back. Turn your palms up in the lap. Gently close your eyes. Pause for a moment. Now from here, lift your hips just enough so that you can tuck your toes under as you float the eyes open, of course. Forward fold from here. So reach arms forward, float the knees up, draw belly in, lift hips up, fold forward, or however you'd like to get there, of course. Inhale, gaze forward to the top of your mat. Exhale, walk hands forward, down dog. Now gaze towards that left thumb. Inhale, left heel high. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, lengthen front to back. Exhale, press your front leg straight. Inhale, lengthen front to back. Exhale, press it straight. Inhale, lengthen front to back. Exhale, press it straight or straightish. Inhale, lunge, step forward, fold forward, top of the mat. Now, take your peace fingers, loop them around your thumb, or around your big toes. Lift your belly away from your thighs, but try to get those ribs to connect to the thighs. Lengthen the sides of the neck, and instead of pulling up towards your face on your big toes, pull forward towards the front of your mat on the big toes. Notice what happens to your back, your belly, and your shoulders as you do this whole pressing forward, not down quite, but forward, and see what happens. So inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, draw belly in and pull forward towards the top of your mat on those big toes. Inhale, lift your gaze. Bend your knees, release those toes, plant your fingertips, step your left foot back, turn all 10 toes to the left side of the mat, wide-legged forward fold. Toes turn in slightly, outer edges of the feet are parallel to the outer edges of the mat. Lift your belly, lengthen out of the hips, lengthen ears out of shoulders. Squeeze your low ribs in, zip up the low belly. Try to get that rib to thigh connection or feeling of rib to thigh connection and pause. Now, before you just kind of hang your head down, look up. Plant your forearms so that they're parallel to one another and your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Squeeze your thumbs towards one another or hug your forearms in towards the midline. And how can you turn your shoulder blades to face one another here? Press forward and down through the forearms. So with very little weight, starting to understand a little bit of the mechanics of what a dolphin pose with this variation will be. Good. Inhale, lift your gaze, come up onto the fingertips, walk to the back of your mat, turn all 10 toes to face the back of the mat. Left foot is forward. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, press it straight. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, press it straight. Inhale, lunge, pause. Now lower your right forearm down, elbow is underneath your shoulder. We're in a forearm side plank from here, so maybe start to toe heel your left foot back. Hug the low belly up and in, squeeze the low ribs up and in. Press down and away through that right forearm. Roll to the outer edge of the right foot. Left foot steps back, left arm reaches up, hip dips. Inhale, dip. Exhale, press it up. Woo! Inhale, dip. Exhale, press it up. Inhale, dip. Exhale, press it up. Inhale, dip. Ardha Navasana for one breath. Exhale. Inhale, forearm plank. Now see if you can step that left foot where it came from. Probably not, I usually can't. But really lift those hips high, float that left foot up, really step it where you can. Maybe pick it up and help it or toe heel it where you can. Plant your palms, we walk through wide-legged forward fold, facing the left side of the mat again. Now let's change it up with the variation of the forearms. This time, lifting the low belly, hinge at the hips, low ribs absorbed in, get that rib to thigh connection or feeling of connection. Elbows are underneath your shoulders and bring your palms to touch in prayer. Reach out through your pinkies, press forward and down through the forearms as hips lift higher. Low ribs absorb a little more, shoulder blades stay broad. Neck is soft. Inhale, lift your gaze, come up onto fingertips. Walk to the top of the mat, all 10 toes, turn to the top of the mat. High lunge, inhale. Exhale, press it straight or straightish. Inhale to lunge. Exhale, press it straight. Good, inhale to lunge, pause, forearm plank, left arm down. So plant that elbow so it's underneath your shoulder. Right foot can toe heel towards the back of the mat, but really lift up through the belly, squeeze the low ribs in, find all that support in the front of the body as you roll to the outer edge of the left foot. Right foot steps back, right arm reaches up, lift those hips up high, inhale, or exhale, inhale, dip, exhale, lift, inhale, dip, exhale, lift, inhale, dip, exhale, lift. This time, dip it down, Ardha Navasana, as we roll towards the right hip. Inhale, and exhale, forearm plank on the left. Plant right hand, come up to high plank, step forward, fold forward, top of the mat. This time, Padahastasana, slide your palms underneath your feet and step with the balls of the feet on your palms. So lift right foot, slide your right hand under, toes will be somewhere in the wrist crease. Same with the left hand. Slide under, bend your knees as much as you need to get that rib to thigh connection. Lift the belly, absorb the ribs into the back of the body even here. Lengthen crown of the head and ears out of your shoulders. Soft neck, bend the elbows and stretch the crown of the head and the ears in between the feet. Notice where your shoulder blades are on your back here. Maybe squeezing together a little bit. Armpits are usually flared out a bit here. Now notice if you squeeze your forearms towards one another and feel that external rotation of the arms, the collarbones feel broader and maybe the neck feels a little more spacious. I know mine does. Very slowly, lift the gaze, release your hands out from underneath you. Plant your palms, step back to down dog. And gently lower to your knees. All right, so dolphin pose. 2 ways, let's figure out the version that works best for us. We'll start with forearms parallel, just like we did in that wide-legged forward fold. So slowly lower to your elbows. Sometimes it helps if you reach and kind of like spin your fingertips to grab opposite elbows. That's usually a pretty good indication that your elbows are underneath your shoulders and not wider than. And why is that a big deal? Because if your elbows are wide, it's real hard to get that supportive external rotation of that upper arm if the armpits are flared out. So try to keep elbows underneath shoulders. I like to wiggle the flesh of my forearms inside of my forearms. Squeeze and press down through the L space of the thumb and forefinger. Squeeze them towards one another. Lengthen the ears out of shoulders. Turn armpits to face one another. Press forward and down through your forearms, elbows, palms, finger pads. Now, tuck your toes, zip up the low belly, squeeze the low ribs together and absorb them into the back of the body. Hover your knees. Lift the hips higher and higher. Try to feel that rib to thigh connection or action. As hips lift higher, maybe heels start to reach towards the mat, especially the inner heels. Stretch your low back towards your sit bones, towards your heels. Absorb the low ribs again, zip up the low belly. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. And I know it's hard, right? This is not for the faint of heart. Slowly lower to your knees. Untuck your toes, sit back on your heels if that is indeed comfortable for you. Or find a place where you can rest for a moment, allowing the shoulders to soften with the help of gravity down the back, away from the ears. Notice, maybe now, the collarbones and the breath, the shoulders, shoulder blades. Perhaps, are you more aware than you were before? Does this wrapping wide of the shoulder blades, turning them in to face one another, is that connecting for you? Or maybe something to continue to build awareness around until it does click. It can take time and often does. All right, so let's do this again, but this time palms together, a little prayer position. This is a lot easier for me to maintain that external rotation of the upper arm bones and that feeling of spaciousness, but we're just exploring both to see which one works for you right now and maybe which one we can start to work towards feeling comfortable in as well, if ever. So come back to tabletop position, lower onto those forearms, palms touch. You might reach for those opposite elbows again. Reach forward through the pinky fingers, start to press forward and down through the elbows and forearms. Broaden those collarbones, so lengthen the bones behind your ears and your ears out of your shoulders here. Zip up the low belly, absorb the low ribs, lengthen your hips back, shift the hips back. Ears will start to descend between the upper arm bones. Tuck your toes, hover the knees, absorb the low ribs, lift the low belly, get that thigh to rib contact as you lift the hips up any amount. Knees can stay bent, but reach the inner heels down towards the mat as you continue to press forward and down to lift the weight of the body out of your shoulders. Stretch the low back and the sit bones towards the heels. And breathe, right? Don't forget the breath. Lift your gaze as you inhale and slowly lower to your knees. Sit back on those heels. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend your elbows wide and stretch your heart forward. Squeeze your shoulder blades powerfully together here and release. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, squeeze shoulder blades together as elbows go wide. Stretch and press your heart forward. Use those back muscles and release. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, elbows wide, squeeze shoulder blades together. Ah, yowzas. Okay, party people. We're gonna do a 1-minute dolphin hold. And I actually hid my phone over here so that I can properly time this. So I'm not holding you here forever and a day because I will. So 1 minute, it sounds like a long time, but just take a moment and pick whatever variation of the forearms you want to try. Get yourself set up, and I'm going to time us for 1 minute. So I'm going to choose the variation that I don't get along with very well, which is forearms parallel. Because why not? I'm trying to break the mold of sticking with where I'm constantly comfortable. All right. So forearms hug in towards the midline. Find that external rotation of your upper arm bones so collarbones are broad, sides of the neck stay long. Press forward and down through the forearms. Lift those hips. We start now. Squeeze the low ribs in. Lift the low belly. Lift the weight out of the shoulders. Deep, smooth breaths. Sometimes humming helps me feel like I can relax just that little bit more. Guys, we've only got 20 seconds left. Oh my goodness, you can do it. If you had to take a rest, see if you can come back into it. Ooh, slowly lower to your knees with control. Walk your hands back. Oh, close your eyes. Place your palms face up in your lap. Maybe roll out the shoulders a couple of times. Good golly. As you close your eyes, lengthen your ears out of your shoulders. Sit up nice and tall. Again, bringing the awareness back. Where do you feel in your body? A 1-minute dolphin hold can often inform us what we can continue to fine-tune and strengthen or create more space in for more inversions like down dog, like dolphin, or maybe even arm balances for future or even for the present. Slowly float your eyes open, sweep your feet out from underneath you. Let's lie on our backs. As you lie on your backs, hug your right knee in towards your chest. Then cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. Knee goes wide, right foot flexes, figure 4. Reach through the legs for the back of the left thigh. Flex your left foot. Draw your belly in. Maybe start to rock your legs side to side and find a spot that feels like it's a nice, juicy opening for that right hip. Maybe also the low back. Begin to smooth out the breath. Allow it to be soothing, soft. And slowly release your left leg. Plant the left foot and cross the right thigh entirely over the left like a lady would sit, or like my mother at least tells me that they do. Now arms Open out to your sides, palms face up, at least elbows in line with shoulders. Now pick up your hips and scooch them to the right a couple inches or a few centimeters. Inhale. Exhale, allow the knees and the legs to slowly descend to the left. If this proves to be too much on the right hip or the low back, just uncross the legs and stack your knees right on top of left. Inhale here. Exhale, draw your belly in to lift the knees back up. Uncross your legs, center your hips on the mat. Hug your left shin and knee in towards your left armpit. Slowly release, flex your left foot, cross the ankle over the top of the right thigh. Left knee opens out, figure four. Stay or reach through the legs for the back of the right thigh as the left or right foot lifts from the mat. Both sides of the waist equal in length. Both feet flexed. Maybe a little rock from side to side to find a spot that feels extra juicy, extra good. Keeping a little motion or stillness again, whatever helps you to feel better in your own body, in your own skin. Slowly release the back of the right thigh, open the arms out to the sides, cross left thigh over right, pick up hips, scooch them to the left side of the mat, inhale. Exhale, knees to the right. Same rules on this side. Uncrossing the legs or finding whatever shape with your body in a twist that feels appropriate, that feels good for you. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, draw your belly and lift your legs back up. Uncross the legs, center your hips on the mat. Give yourself another big squeeze. Bring your forehead in towards your kneecaps. Wrap your forearms around your shins. Curl up into a tiny little ball. Squeeze hard, squeeze tight, get small. And release into Shavasana. Holy crap, we made it, people. Shoulder blades underneath you and down your back. Now we have all this awareness built here. So when you bring your shoulder blades underneath you and down your back, they're nice and wide still, collarbones wide. Front tips of the shoulders softening back with gravity. Sides of the neck long, even in Shavasana. And allow everything in the front of the body to soften back deeply into the back of the body. Drink up these moments of stillness physically and mentally. We deprive ourselves of them constantly. So stay. Take just a few more minutes to honor your body. Honor your effort in showing up in the first place. And I'll leave you here for as long as you would like. Thank you so much for trusting me with your practice. It is a joy and indeed an honor. I bow deeply in respect to you.